Expectation versus reality, where we discuss hot topics, give advice, and talk about our favorite theory from our favorite class with our favorite professor, Dr. Myers.
So today we're going to be covering the expectation violation theory. This theory covers nonverbal communication and how we act and feel when those expectations are violated.
We can all remember a time where we went into a situation fully expecting someone to act a certain way based on who they are, where we're located, but then they deviated from that. And in short, those expectations were violated.
And this theory deals largely with nonverbals, proxemic zones, violation balances, communication reward balances, and even arousal.
So with this theory, we're going to start by talking about the proxemic zones.
So there's 4 proxemic zones that are public distance, which is 12 to 25 feet, social distance, which is 4 to 12 feet, you have your personal distance, which is 18 inches to 4 feet, and then there's your intimate zone, which is 0 to 18 inches. Okay, you need to back up.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, let's move on. I remember a time when someone was in my personal space.
I'm sorry, did you want some?
So as you can see, even on your lunch break, sometimes people will act out of line and do things that you don't necessarily expect.
So do you think that this has anything to do with the balance in the terms of this theory?
Oh, absolutely. In this situation, it was my coworker, and we've developed a relationship, and I see her every day. So I let it slide a little more than if it was just somebody completely random.
Right.
I'm sorry again.
Yeah.
But I can totally see that, and I actually remember a time where like that situation, but the environment played a huge part in like me trying to get a date.
I mean, I just don't understand.
It is so messed up.
Like, on my birthday of all days,
I literally don't know what's wrong with you.
and he knows how I feel about her. Like, come on, man.
Listen, order me a drink while I'm gone. Whatever you're getting, I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
All right.
What you looking so sad over here for?
I need some space.
You good?
You are not allowed. I need some space.
Alright, well, I'll take your hint.
I just can't believe this. I mean, on my birthday,
It was so messed up.
and he knows how I feel about her. I mean, come on.
It's seriously the worst thing I have ever heard in my entire life, and I am so sorry. But listen, I really need to go to the bathroom. Stay here. I'll be right back, okay?
Alright.
Just hang in there.
You're fine.
Hey, pretty lady like you looking so sad over here for?
It's just some guy. I mean, he. You know what? I don't even care anymore.
Could you go for a drink? I got a martini bar back at my place.
I love you.
Oh, let's do it.
Real smooth, Ryan.
Yeah. So my mistake was assuming that my nonverbal behavior of sitting next to her at a booth would have been the same as sitting next to her at a bar. Clearly the expectation was not there in the booth.
Yeah, as a woman, and probably speaking for most people who are in the dating scene, people can go and sit at a bar because the conversation is ready to be had and it's open and they want to meet people. But booths are a little more intimate and private and not as welcoming to start a conversation and flirt with somebody.
Right. So next time you consider hitting on someone, consider the environment because expectations are there in some scenarios and they're not in others.
So now we're going to move to our next segment, which is where we hear from our loyal viewers and listeners.
So we got sent an email from Cindy from California. The email reads, "Hey, expectation versus reality. My boss, male 55, keeps touching my shoulders, sitting next to me at meetings, and staring at me while I walk in the halls and thinks I don't notice. Female 25. I have a really great job in a big marketing firm with great pay, and I don't want to lose it. I also want to make it known that this makes me feel weird. Should I feel weird? Maybe he's just being a good boss. What should I do?"
That's hard. Thank you so much for sending this in to us, Cindy. We appreciate the email, and I'm really sorry that you're dealing with all of that.
Well, it sounds like you're dealing with the communicator reward valence. So this means that the communicator, depending on their social status and what they can offer or take away from you, in this case it would be your job, is violating your expectations. And it makes sense that this is a tough situation because if it were anyone else, the answer would be pretty clear. But now we're dealing with this ambiguity because of who he is.
If I were you, I would first try to take it up with AR, HR, perhaps anonymously, and see if there's any other complaints dealing with this boss. See if there's a way to get this solved, maybe without your name being involved,
right.
and see what resources are available to you, especially regarding sexual harassment. And if nothing else works, I would start looking for a company that can fulfill your needs, your pay needs, and leaves you without that feeling of being pressured or scared of your boss.
Right.
So with modern day examples, social media is very prevalent in today's world, obviously. We use nonverbal tactics on social media all the time.
Oh yeah, like, have you ever been unfriended by someone you didn't expect, or somebody liked a post from way back? Maybe you took this as flirting, maybe you took it as even stalking, depending on who this person is, or like how well you know them, what relationship you have. So stuff like that could definitely be examples in today's world in 2023 with online stuff.
Absolutely. We really need to shift our expectations for this theory from just in person to online. Because online we have an entire culture with social norms and values that doesn't necessarily translate from in person.
All right. I am so excited to watch my favorite show. It's so cool how these things can be applied to both TV and movies and our everyday lives.
So we know that an assumption of this theory is that expectancies drive human interaction, so cultural differences will definitely play into this.
Absolutely. So a great example of this can be found in the popular movie Mean Girls, when Katie Heron, the new girl in school, after being homeschooled in Africa, shows up to public school. Her expectancies were violated by those who normally go to school because she can't believe that she can't just get up and go to the bathroom whenever she wants to.
Yeah, and she's also not trusted by any of the adults, which she's not used to.
But in the same way, the people who actually attend the public school feel violated by Katie's actions. Because while Katie can't believe that people act that way, people are shocked to see her behaviors too. And they just cannot understand why she would get up to go to the bathroom without asking. Or why she would show up to a Halloween party in a scary costume.
Yeah. So in both of these situations, a lack of cultural understanding led to expectancies being violated.
Enough of this. I think we're done.
Back to our regularly scheduled programming. So another example is from the movie Heathers.
Yeah. So in this movie, Veronica has a crush on JD, this mysterious new kid at school, and she wants to get to know him, and they kind of plan out revenge to get on Heather, a mean girl who targets Veronica. And they jokingly decide to give her a cup of Drano or bleach, and Veronica doesn't actually think that JD will give it to her. They just think it's going to be milk with a loogie in it. But so she's expecting him to give her that. And however, she ends up giving her the bleach, and afterwards they laugh about it as Heather inevitably dies.
And in this situation, Veronica is dealing with someone that she does not know well. He's a new student in school. She has no prior knowledge of him other than that she expected him to act as the other students do.
So this was such an ambiguous situation as Veronica was not sure what to make of it. Therefore, she relied on the communicator reward balance and decided to be nice to Jay-Z because she saw what he was capable of doing and that she could end up the same as Heather if she were to retaliate. So with any theory, it has its own challenges and critiques, and we want to address some of the critiques of this theory because, as we all know, things don't always pan out the way we want.
Right. So there's a couple challenges, and the first one is that there is a lack of testing among a broad demographic cross-section and in non-Western cultures. Most of this theory research has been done in Western cultures, so many of the expectations of this theory are also based off of this particular culture. In other cultures, this theory could vary.
So another challenge for this theory is to explain why different types of nonverbal violations produce inconsistent patterns of results. The degree of ambiguity associated with the type of violation could be a significant factor.
Imagine, you're trying to figure out how people react when someone breaks a nonverbal rule, like making an inappropriate facial expression. The problem is, not all rule-breaking expressions are the same. Some might be really clear and easy to understand, while others are way more confusing and unclear. Because of this, when researchers study different types of rule-breaking or expressions, they might get different results.
So, for example, if Sarah here were to make a funny face at me indicating that she's mad, I know when she is joking what to expect. However, when someone else does this, I would not be understanding of such facial expression.
What do you think?
To wrap this up, we want to summarize our findings today.
So expectancy violation theory deals with nonverbal behaviors, our expectations, and how we perceive them when they are violated.
And this depends on a few factors we discussed, including proximal zones and arousal, which arousal in this sense is the heightened sense of a mental state.
There's also the violation valence, which captures how nonverbal messages that violate our expectations are interpreted.
There's the communicator reward valence, which talks about how the interpretation of a violation may remain ambiguous. And in this situation, we will turn towards evaluating the valence of the communicator or the person who is sending the nonverbal message.
So we hope you learned a lot today and can learn from our mistakes and experiences.
And don't forget to write in with any questions and share your own expectancy violation stories.
And tune in next week as we feature Dr. Myers on our new episode reviewing all of Love is Blind Season 1. Tune in.
Woo! Conversation is only welcome for those involved.
So, next
Expectation violation.
violation right there.
Are you kidding me?